What a big day, a big day, a big day in camper building. Hey, fellow campers. Hey, man, how are you? It's I have to say I am so excited. I am thrilled. It's been a big day. It's been a big day of accomplishments, and I'm so thrilled to make some accomplishments. Let me tell you what's been going on here. As you can see behind me, big garage doors.
That's right. It's a big day and a big accomplishment here in Building on an Expedition Camper Build Series video number 47 as we finish out trimming out these garage doors. It may not seem like that big of a deal, but after cutting into these walls and actually cutting these big openings in, it was still scary trying to get these all complete. And that meant, of course, building out the extrusions that go around the garage doors and how those all tie into the bed platform, which I had to do a little trimming down, some rounding out and so forth before gluing that in order to get all sealed up and nice and tight as it is. So that is all glued up and tightened up in place like I showed you in my last couple videos, and now it's time to go ahead and get a few more of these extrusions to seal out these garage door openings. So it meant some more cutting and things like that.
This is one of the biggest days of Expedition camper building. My bed platform and my gear garage wall and bed wall is all done now. So I am so thrilled to have this bed platform installed, the bed wall done. I can get Woo! Yes!
Also means you got to get cutting again.
It's going to be a tough cut. Yes, it is.
So with a very careful setup and prep, got to cut into these extrusions from many different tools, many different angles, so we can get these little bitty pieces taken out of the extrusions so they all tie in and fit together to round out the garage doors and create a very nice, tight and strong seal around them. And with a nice break in the weather between snowstorms, yes, I brought out the multi-tool and started making a little bitty cuts that I could get to it with this tool. I found that the multi-tool works very well after making some initial cuts with the bandsaw and the circular saw, or also the chop saw. Chop saw to start with those miter cuts, and the circular saw and bandsaw to cut those inward cuts, and then the multi-tool to get in there. Now it's time to clean them up.
It seems like I've cleaned these 3 or 4 times now. So what am I doing? What is Casey up to today? Well, I am trimming these trim panels. They're going to go around the garage door openings. And I trimmed them down just a little bit more once again to make room for an internal frame. And I say an internal frame, it'll be a metal frame that'll go on the inside of the garage. So first of all, it's going to frame up the whole internal of the garage, the inside of the garage. And so that'll strengthen it up, add some additional reinforcement, not to support the bed because that's more than enough, strong enough, although we'll do that, but it's really to support the garage door openings and the rear wall, even though it's all plenty strong. But I'm just going to add some additional reinforcement there to strengthen it up. So that's one thing I'm going to do. And the other thing is that metal frame is going to be a place for me to attach things inside the garage, inside the gear garage. So I can hang like inflatable paddleboards, bike helmets, things like that, and hang all that stuff in there. Paddleboard, paddles, or kayak, paddles and things like that. So I'm really looking forward to getting this done. So I cut out just a little bit out of these where they where I'm going to make room for that frame, and that's it. So that frame can butt through. So I'm going to fill up the whole inside of the frame, of the inside of these, on the inside with the frame all the way around, and it's going to strengthen up. So I can't wait to get these glued in. I can take my measurements to have my frame that I'm going to build out and get that done. And so this is exciting to be getting all this stuff done and getting these garage doors framed out. And then I can work on the inside, which is I'm really excited about. I've got my cabinets mostly designed, about 80% of them designed for the inside. So I'm going to get the framing and stuff ordered up for those and other materials ordered up so I can start building those out. But while I'm waiting for those, I'm going to finish this gear garage, get this framed out, and framed out with these extrusions, and then framed out with the internal frame, and also get this other skylight installed and do a few other things. So I'm really excited for all that's happening right now. It's starting to take some shape and form, and I'm not doing as much cutting, doing more building. So it's great. So let's get to it. Let me go back to, I'll call it rule number 1 with working on extrusions and all the fitting everything is test fit. Test fit everything first. It really is pretty key to make sure that everything goes together nicely, exactly as it should. And you also have a plan for how you're going to install it when you get to that point. Like right here, there's a inside lip that goes up. And so I've got that figured out how that's going to go in when this all has glue on it and pushed up into here. Yahoo! I really want these to be nice and squared up so that my garage doors also can be square. Everything will look nice and square. I think I'm just going to trim that down, make that go on just a little bit better.
So a little bit of gymnastics here with the various different saws, band saw, chop saw, and circular saw to cut out the little pieces just as I need them, make a nice smooth cut.
You can see that's a pretty clean cut right there. Not a lot of burns or anything. Here, not so, right? We got some burns on that. And that was from my miter saw with a cutoff blade, which seems to be the abrasive cutoff blade was about the best blade I had to cut this. When I used a fine tooth melamine blade on this, it would sometimes grip these pieces and just ever so gently splinter them, and I wasn't really okay with that, but it was the best blade I had with that saw to do that with when I had to use a saw to make these miter cuts. Something I couldn't do with the table saw or with my band saw, so that was the tool I had. So you use the tools you have and you get her done. And it's okay if it's a little burnt like that. I'm not happy about it, but it's all going to get covered in white adhesive sealant anyways, so it's going to look great. Oh, that's better. That is most certainly better. Alright, I think it's time to get some glue and make this happen. Exciting times. About to apply some adhesive sealant onto these extrusions and get these extrusions glued up. And for some gloves, make sure I'm not getting it on my hands. Okay, here we go. Getting everything ready.
And after getting all these extrusions cut down to exactly the dimensions and also the internal cutouts for my internal frame so they embed right in there with them to make a really strong structural connection, it was time to get that nice warmed glue out, the adhesive sealant recommended by Total Composites, with the electric caulk gun, and go ahead and liberally apply it, and then both into the extrusions and on the walls, so I can go ahead and get these installed and pressed into place at a nice 90-degree angles.
Square.
And with more liberal application of the adhesive sealant both inside the extrusions and on the walls, both sides, started to press these little pieces of extrusions in.
Pop a new tube in there, which I have all ready. Can we help here with this one?
Yeah, actually, let's watch that.
Okay. There we go.
I was very fortunate to have the help of my friend John guiding these extrusions into place and also making sure that the adhesive sealant was getting applied on the inside and smoothed out on the inside while I worked on the outside. And so this really helped a lot, and we could both also check all the angles and make sure that everything was at 90 degrees to each other, which obviously just made things go a lot quicker. And then sealing out all the little inside corners, which is one of the harder parts of this whole process, but it all came out really nicely. I think you'll agree. They look great, and they look nice and trimmed and clean and strong.
Lots of big stuff, but let's go over number one. Big garage door openings are framed in. We still got sealant adhesive that's drying up. I still have to go ahead and finish the gaps here and get those all nicely sealed up and everything, and that's going to happen here very soon. But the extrusions for the bed platform and bed wall are all in. The garage doors have been cut. The garage doors have been framed out. These are really big accomplishments. The trim, hands out certainly to Total Composites for their really nice extrusions that go over these sidewalls. And I was so glad they finally had these 2x2 inch available extrusions so I could tie in my bed wall and bed platform with these in the sidewalls, as well as also back here to frame out my big garage doors. Anyways, got that installed, so that's installed, that's gluing up. All these extrusions are gluing up. I'm thrilled about all that. I'm going to come back tomorrow and finish up sealing up all these edges after the sealant gets nice and glued and dried. Seal up all those edges, get everything nice and clean and tidy. Same with the skylight, make sure that's fully sealed up and watertight. It is more than watertight right now, but just want to make sure everything's nice and sealed all the way around, and both the inside and outside, get all that trim kind of done around it, so it's going to look great. So it's been a big day. So what do you think? Anyways, it's good. It looks great. I'm really super thrilled about this and how it's come together. And I can't wait to like see how it's going to look after everything's all sealed up, cleaned up. And of course, when I have the garage doors in, I got something really fun and cool planned out for that. So I'm excited to have this done. I'm going to get this all glued up tomorrow. Like I said, sealed up, make sure everything's all cleaned up and sealed up. Same with the skylight. And then I can actually get forth on taking my final dimensions for my cabinets. They're going to be above my bed and also the rest of the camper. So that's what's happening next. Get all my final dimensions, get all my cabinets ordered up, and or all the materials for the cabinets ordered up so I can go and build those, get those installed in here. And then once the framing and so forth, the cabinets is in, I can install the water tanks, electrical system, rest of the plumbing system, and then obviously build up the cabinets from there and get appliances in them and all those other things. So that's going to be a really big step when I get to that point. And I'm not that far away from it right now. I'm probably about 2 weeks from being able to have materials for the cabinets, and I would say probably as little as a month to having cabinets actually, framing for cabinets actually starting to take place. That's super exciting. It's big progress. They make the whole inside look and feel so much better and get a lot of the stuff out of my garage, the stuff that's everywhere in my garage, get the stuff out of it and into the camper. So big day. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe. Please share with others. Hope you learned something. Hope you had fun watching, and gosh, you know.